have on the back.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, hey, hi, hello there, how's it going? I am the Grandmaster, but you can call me D-Ray, your coach of the San Diego Spirits, ready to take on Season 9 of the BBR Battle Royale Pokemon Wi-Fi Draft League. If you're excited for the season, do me the massive favor and rage fist that thumbs up button. And if you're new, por favor, hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and hit the bell button so you get notified every single time we post a new video. I'm very excited today. Before I begin, huge shout out to my amazing front office members. We've got Bash, J-Bear, Quinn, and Sven are my main guys. You guys are the best. I appreciate you guys. Without you, this team would not be possible. I'm looking to bounce back. We're looking to make playoffs in Wi-Fi. We've been killing it on Showdown, but we want to showcase our talents here on the Wi-Fi stage. And no other better place to do it than the toughest league to play in, which is the BBR Battle Royale. Pull up a chair, get your popcorn ready. Let's go to break down the team. We got the wheel pick, baby. We got the very last pick of the draft. We got the 16th pick overall. Why is this good? It allows us to have what's called the wheel pick. So what's Draft League, if you guys don't know? Pokemon Wi-Fi Draft League is essentially fantasy sports mixed in, blended with Pokemon. So there are 16 coaches and all of us are going to be basically picking one by one until we all have at least 9 to 11 Pokemon. We will have a full 9-week season this season of the BBR. We will have a full schedule where we go head to head with 9 different coaches for the regular season and hopefully in playoffs beyond that. Every single week we'll be able to see what our opponent has, obviously, and we have 7 days, essentially about a week, to prepare for what our opponent is, what we think our opponent is going to bring, and it's a counter team format. So it's very exciting, it's very fun. Hope you guys let me know what you guys think in the comments of what this team's gonna look like, and I hope you guys enjoy is what I was trying to say. So without further ado, let's stop rambling. Let's get on to the team. With the 16th pick overall in season 9, we decided to take Enamorus. Enamorus is very good, very strong. I've seen lots of really talented players take full advantage of this Pokemon, and being able to Terra out of the flying and fairy type could be really nice offensively in some matchups where Pokemon's able to resist our fairy type stab. And even then, so it does get phenomenal coverage in things like earth power for steel types and poison types, mystical fire to mix it up if I want to use that as well. But this has very powerful Moonblast stab, which is great. Good ability and contrary. Q-Charm can come in handy from time to time, but this is going to be a very offensive Terra type. There are some weeks where we can do a defensive Terra type, being able to Terra into things like a steel type to be able to resist things like ice, etc. So Enamorus is going to be really nice to have a very strong offensive presence off rip. And to pair it off, we decided to go with our round 2 pick on the wheel. Back to back, we got Gouging Fire. Gouging Fire, I'm very excited to use it. I've seen people do work with this Pokemon. It hits very hard. It's a very bulky Pokemon and gets fantastic recovery in Morning Sun, strong dragon and fire type stab. The new version of Mega Charizard X, right, gets very similar bulk, but very reliable in this generation, being able to have the heavy duty boots item where Charizard X had to hold the Mega Stone. So it's really nice to ignore the rock type weakness for stealth rocks upon entry, which is really cool. But being able to threaten Pokemon like Steels for the Enamorus are really nice, and vice versa. These two really do a good job of breaking for each other. After we had our back-to-back picks, we had to wait a little bit before we could take our next one. For this one, we decided to take a full season to give it another chance. We're going to bring up Gliscor. Gliscor is a super good ground type and gets incredible coverage. It gets really strong attacking moves like the Earthquake, which is nice. Gets access to things like Facade to pair off with the Toxic Orb, being able to poison it and getting the Toxic Heal every single turn, which is nice. It did lose Roost, which is unfortunate, but it does maintain spikes and stealth rock and toxic spikes, which is really cool to have a bunch of hazards in one Pokemon. And then pivot, momentum, and U-turn is really nice to be able to get momentum and bring in Enamorus and gouging fire pretty free. But the main attraction that I wanted to bring Gliscor on this team for was the access to the hazard. So now that we're able to bring the hazard game on our side, we want to be able to have rapid spin to remove hazards on our side. So we decided to go back to back with Tentacruel. Great water and poison type, access to rapid spin, knockoff for utility, flip turn for pivot momentum, toxic spikes if I want to fit it on Tentacruel instead of Gliscor, which is really cool. But being able to remove hazards is huge, especially since we want to hazard stack ourselves, and Tentacruel is able to provide that for us. As we go into round number 5, we do notice that there is a Pokemon that should not be there at the very end of round 5, I should add. We take Urshifu Single Strike. Urshifu Single Strike is the dark type version of Urshifu. Having access to Wicked Blow is so good for this team. Another really strong presence, a good breaker, and having gouging fire to threaten the fairy types on switch in. Well, I shouldn't say gouging fire, I apologize, I meant Tentacruel. If we can have Tentacruel to threaten those fairy types, having Urshifu to really break the routine would be fantastic. Has great sets, band, scarf, very straightforward, clicks button. Wicked Blow is really tough to switch into. And so once we picked up Urshifu, we did want to get more of a defensive steel type to help us with those fairy types. So we decided to pick up Bronzong. Bronzong is the first time I use this mon. I'm really excited to use it. This was going to be Scizor, but we did get sniped by L5, so Bronzong was the pivot. We also had the opportunity to go for Metagross. I believe Metagross was still available. I can't remember if Hunky Donkey took it the round before, but nonetheless, Bronzong was going to be something that I brought up to the team that I wanted to use. Bronzong having access to Levitate to have a ground type immunity as a steel type is really good. And heat proof on fire type resistances, which would be really nice depending on the matchup. But being able to set up Stealth Rock reliably allows us to remove that roll off of Gliscor, which is what Bronzong was really meant to do on this team, aside from threatening those fairies. So Bronzong, welcome to the team, looking forward to giving you a try. As we move forward towards round number 7, we want to get a couple more things to pressure water types because they do get welcomed in by things like gouging fire, by things like Gliscor. So we did want to get a pair of grass type Pokemon here, and we can cover our speed tiers by bringing in Hisuian Electrode. Hisuian Electrode is going to be covering in blazing fast speed at base 150. Being able to have access to grass type stab to threaten the ground types that want to come in on our electric type stab is going to be so good for this Pokemon. Having a mon that's able to basically outspeed almost every Pokemon in the league, aside from really fast choice scarfers, and this can even outspeed some other relatively slow choice scarfers. So having the speed advantage is going to be huge, which is the main role that Electrode wanted to pull. And being able to have some more removal, we decided to pair off with Decidueye. Decidueye having access to Defog, and being a ghost type allows it to block rapid spin, which will be really clutch for us. Roost for recovery. Gets really good strong setup in Swords Dance as well as Nasty Plot, and having great stab opportunities on both ends of the spectrum with both stabs, with Shadow Ball and with Spirit Shackle plus Leaf Blade / Leaf Storm. Decidueye can be a Swiss Army knife, which would be really good for this mon to really support the team for the most part, which would be really cool. Another pivot momentum mon with U-turn. It basically covers a lot of boxes that this team really wanted to push forward. And then I did want to get another element that my opponents did have to prepare for, which was Sticky Web. So we took Araquanid. Araquanid providing really strong physical water type stab to pair off with Tentacruel in those matchups that maybe Tentacruel doesn't really want to come, or we could bring the both of them. Being able to go very hyper offensive with Araquanid's Sticky Web is really cool. And don't underestimate this thing his water bubble ability to get really powerful liquidations with the choice band. It does a lot of things, which is really cool, and for 6 points I think that it really is a steal, to be honest. So with the last 3 points, we decided to split it up in 2 Pokemon. We wanted to get another fairy type when Enamorus tears out of the fairy typing, so we just don't get boned by Specs or Banded Dragons. So we got Wigglytuff to be able to be that fairy in that bulky normal type. Allows for support for the team, gets knockoff, gets wish, It does get competitive, which is actually kind of funny, and does have setup as well. So Wigglytuff gets that Gen 1 normal type coverage, right? So it gets a lot of really cool coverage moves, and it could be a really solid sweeper. And good Swiss Army knife for the team. And when I say sweeper, don't expect it to, like, you know, set up nasty plots and win games. It is a Wigglytuff, but it's able to support the team and do what it's supposed to do for 2 points, right? And then the last point that I wanted to use here was going to be Trapinch, but shout out to Gentleman Thomas for sniping me of Trapinch. So we decided to end the team with Haunter. Really excited to use Haunter. I feel like Haunter was very undervalued at one point. Very strong special attacker. Having access to base 95 speed is fantastic. Very fast Destiny bonds. It has access to taunt. We have another spin blocker, and Haunter does retain levitate, which is cool. So we do have only one weakness. So if we do run Eviolite, it could be pretty bulky in some weeks. So Haunter has a lot of things that it could do, but being able to have another threat to threaten out fairy types to allow Urshifu to do crazy damage, which would be really cool. So Haunter, there's gonna be a couple games where Haunter can come and really be a threat on my opponent's team. So looking forward to it. But this is the team for this season of the BBR classic draft analysis stuff. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Hope you guys are ready for this season. I'm very much so looking forward to the opportunity to bouncing back and hopefully making playoffs in Wi-Fi. You know, I haven't done it in quite some time, as my friends love to remind me. So looking forward to the opportunity here in the BBR. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like I said, with that being said, I'm gonna get the heck up out of here. Have a great rest of your day, and above all else, be nice. Peace.